Hey friends, how's it going? I'm getting all set up for our live stream today. I almost was like gonna skip by accident because, and I don't know if you feel this way too, but daylight savings is really throwing me off today. I don't know. I feel jet lagged. It's like I've been just off today. Hello. I'm gonna pull up comments here. I've already got a few people ready to watch and hang. Today I'm going to answer some questions now that the cat's out of the bag. If you missed the big episode last week, Bert and I announced that we are pregnant. Well, technically I am, but he's my partner, so we are. We are expecting a baby girl in August, and we're pumped. So I'm going to give you an update on all that today. First, I'm going to do... Oop, I got to hit... I have to go live on the Facebook. So Facebook just missed that recap. But yes, if you're watching on Facebook, sorry, I just did this on YouTube, but Bert, if you missed last week's episode, Bert and I are expecting a baby girl in August. We announced that last week on the channel, and today I'm going to spend some time going over some of the questions that we got as follow-ups, wanting to know more about this. We'll give you that and a little bit more about what life has been like with this news, with these plans. Now I can talk openly about it finally. I hated keeping it a secret. My live stream has always been very open about everything. So today, okay, I'm pulling up comments and trying not to do what I did 2 weeks ago, which was on Facebook. I accidentally went live on my personal page, which I did not mean to do. Okay, so now we're good there. That's on. Let's go YouTube. On. All right. And view our comments. Here we are. Oh, interesting. So Marcus is watching, and he says that here in Europe we will switch in 2 weeks for the daylight savings. I actually didn't know if daylight savings was done in Europe, so now I know. That's really cool. Yeah, daylight savings time can really take a lot out of you. I'm glad that I'm not alone in this. I feel very off today. Oh, Elliot. This is actually a great place to start today. So I have an app, a pregnancy app, that will tell me like what symptoms to expect on a week-by-week basis. Today is the start of week 17 of our pregnancy. And one of the things that it said is to expect people to tell you that you're glowing. Now, I don't feel like I'm glowing. In fact, I'm like, where is this glow? I have in my studio some very nice lights that kind of help make me look like I'm glowing. But it's funny that you say this because I'm like, where is that glow? And even more funny that my app said someone would say it and you did. So maybe you're just doing that because you know I'm pregnant, but thank you, Elliot. I appreciate it. Hello, Mom. Hello, Dad. And thank you, Bert, for being so supportive and being ready for me. And always love hearts. Okay. So, last week we got a question after I went live. Someone posted a follow-up wanting to know how I told Bert the news. So, now I did a recap last week too of everything we've been through to get to this point of being pregnant. It's been about a 4-year journey of infertility ups and downs. We also included a miscarriage. So when I first took the pregnancy test, and I've done this many times with these cheapy pregnancy tests that you when you're going through infertility, you can buy like boxes of 30 for like $12, and they're just like actually I have it right here. And if you've done this, you've probably recognized this right here. And I'm sorry I'm showing you a stick that was dipped in my pee, but this is what these cheapy ones look like. Oh, that's upside down, I suppose. Is that focusing? It's not focusing today, is it? Hold on, we'll get it. We'll get it. Come on. There it is. Okay, so that was, and you'll see this on a lot of like fertility pages too, where they'll put the count, like how far along they are. 5 weeks, 3 days. Okay, so I've got tons of these. They come in this little thing. Now, I was 2 days late on my period, and I had been through this so many times where I know myself, and I'm like, well, if I take the pregnancy test, it'll tell my body you're not pregnant, and your period will magically come like literally within an hour or two. So I was like, I'm just going to stick the pregnancy test in my back pocket in the morning. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. And then I'll test at lunchtime if it still hasn't come at work. So lunchtime comes, go to the bathroom to go do this routine, like, come on, Lynn, don't even get your hopes up. And I wasn't, I was just like, just show me it's negative so I can get my period and move on. I couldn't believe, I was shaking. I could not believe my eyes. And I'm alone in this, work bathroom by myself, like looking at this, like this very like uneventful, like buildup. I was just shaking. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't do anything. I just kind of stood there in complete shock by myself. And then I was like, well, shoot. And this is back in December that this happened. I had a big night that night. Like we had plans to go see friends, and we were taking our foster daughter to out to dinner with one of her friends. And I'm like, I'm not gonna like make that whole night all about this little thing. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to tell Bert yet. Honestly, the first thing that I felt was confusion. Like, not confusion is not the right word. Excitement, but also fear. Fear that, oh shoot, we're gonna go through another miscarriage. Like that, I will be completely honest, that was like half of the feeling. Half of it was excitement and shock. The other half of it was fear. So I didn't do anything. I didn't tell a coworker. I didn't act any different the rest of the day at work. I just continued my day. On my drive home, I called my best friend, Kelly. She was the first person that I opened up to. I said, Kelly, what should I do? I'm like, should you, and I'm like, should I wait till Christmas and make a big deal out of it on Christmas and like, tell him then? She's like, there's no way you're going to wait. Just go home and tell him, him being Bert. So I go home that night and I wait until Bert and I have a private moment. We're sitting on the bed, and I kind of just look at him, and I couldn't bring the words to come out of my mouth. And even the way I put it to Kelly is the same way that I said it to Bert. So I'm holding him, I'm hugging him, and I'm just like, my heart's pounding. I'm scared. I'm excited to tell him. I'm excited to share this moment. And I'm holding him for the longest hug, and I finally say to him, I'm like, I got a positive pregnancy test. I didn't even say I'm pregnant. The words that came out of my mouth were, I got a positive pregnancy test. And I could tell that he went through the exact same feelings that I went through earlier in the day, which was both excitement and shock and fear. And there wasn't like a jumping up and down and like, oh my God. It was a, sorry, holy shit. Like, and then this kind of like reminder, all those feelings from the miscarriage, like kind of sweeping over us. Like, we don't want that feeling again. So I know that this is a very long explanation of kind of how it went down, but it is probably a very relatable experience for people that have gone through miscarriage and then gone on to have a rainbow baby. Maybe not, but I bet this is probably what a lot of couples go through. So right after I did tell him, and I was like, the phrasing that I used, but I'm like, maybe I should take one more pregnancy test just to make sure that, it wasn't a mistake. So I went into the bathroom, did another test, and sure enough, also positive. So I think that's when it was kind of like, oh my God, like this is real. And there would be many more of those moments along the way where it kept feeling more and more real. That fear of miscarriage does not go away. And in fact, even leading up to today, like even the past 3 weeks, I was like, we're clear. We're in the second trimester. We're telling friends. Today I had another appointment. It was just a checkup. On the way there and all morning, I just had this horrible nervous feeling all day long. Like, I don't want today to be the day they tell me that it's not real anymore, or that it's, unviable or something went wrong. So I was in a bad mood, like all morning, not excited and like, ooh, I can't wait to hear the heartbeat, or I can't wait to talk next steps with the doctor. Like, the whole way over is full of like fear. And then a huge relief when the doctor, puts the Doppler on my belly, and immediately we can hear our little girl's heartbeat. So, that happened today. That's real. That's just a few hours fresh. We heard our little girl's heartbeat. She's doing very well. Like, everything's on track. So, like, there's, for the next now 3 or 4 weeks, hopefully I just keep on staying positive, like I had been the past 3 weeks. But I promise when I get to that next appointment, which my next appointment is going to be a anatomy scan, so a very specific ultrasound technician is going to look at the baby and check for things. So this is something beyond the my regular doctor doing it. It's someone that's very well trained at looking at these kinds of ultrasounds. So I'm sure going up to that appointment, I'm going to feel the same thing, excited to see my little baby moving around, but also very scared what we might learn that day. It's in between fun to be positive and excited about, everything going well. Anyway, some great questions coming in here. So, have you shared with your doctor your fears? So, I will share a story about this. Yes. In our very first appointment with her, we, they do kind of a background, like right up on your profile. And I had to say, they said, is this your first pregnancy? I said, no, I had a miscarriage. That goes in the file. Our doctor is awesome. She is not the doctor I had on my last pregnancy when we had a miscarriage. I had a horrible experience with all that. I never want to see that doctor again. She was not there for me, and I needed to move on to someone that could take care of us. And I found a wonderful doctor. I feel like I'm getting off track, but including really good information here. So I found a doctor that actually specializes in advanced maternal age pregnancies, which is definitely what I'm considered, being that I'm almost 40. So she's amazing. And she is so sensitive to me and Bert, because Bert's been to every single appointment with me. She has been really good about saying that she will be honest. If anything looks off, she will tell us. She told us that in the very first meeting, and I appreciate that. I do not want a doctor who is hiding things from me if something looks off. I don't think anyone does, but I understand why doctors do it, because they don't want to cause unnecessary stress if there's nothing to worry about. But just tell me everything. Tell me if something's looking a little off and what we're going to do to figure it out. So there was, what was it? The second or third visit we had. Maybe it was the second visit. I can't remember. Maybe Bert can remember. We've had, I think, 4 or 5 visits now. So second or third visit we go in. It must have been third, because they were happening every 2 weeks. And so this probably would have been around week probably 10. And she puts the Doppler on my belly. And what this does is listens for the heartbeat. Now, 10 weeks is when we found out last time, 10 weeks and some change, that that we had a missed miscarriage. So 10 weeks, I was my heightened, fear, like, was higher than ever. I was like, this is the milestone. This is where we need to hit here. In my mind, but of course now I know every appointment's a milestone. So she puts the Doppler on, moving it all over my belly, and there's no heartbeat. She can't find it, and my heart starts racing, and I am just like, this is exactly what I was fearing. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to stop looking with the Doppler. Let's just go in. We'll do an ultrasound. And I can't say I was optimistic going into that. I'm like, there was no heartbeat. This is exactly what happened last time. There was no heartbeat. And they confirmed that it was a miscarriage with a vaginal ultrasound. So we go into, we walk down the hall to the ultrasound room, and maybe 2.5 minutes total has passed in between me, taking my pants off and, her doing the one. But there was a 30 seconds in there where she wasn't in the room yet, and Bert and I was just looking at him with this absolute dread and fear of what we were about to hear. And he's like, just calm down, just calm down. She comes in and she's like, oh, were you worried? And actually that didn't happen. So we do the ultrasound, and right away on the screen we can see the baby. We can see the baby's heartbeat. Tears started, I'm going to cry thinking about it, but tears started streaming down my face. And she goes, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Were you worried? And I go, yes. Yes, I was worried. And she's like, oh my God, I was not worried, and I knew everything was fine. And I'm like, okay, it was just so, she felt bad because, she had forgotten how, sensitive that whole thing can be in that moment, but it was all so fast and it was all just so intense. But that day was it was the hugest relief. And I had tears, and she took extra time showing us, she's so funny, our doctor. She's like, well, baby doesn't like being poked with the wand, but we'll do that anyway. So she moves around a little. So we got to watch the baby on the screen, and we can actually see all of her fingers. It was incredible. It was just the coolest thing. And then 2 weeks later, we got to see the baby on an ultrasound again. And the baby, I swear, she put its little arm up and yawned, and Bert got it all on video. I'll have to play it for you sometime. But no, the doctor's been extremely wonderful and sensitive to our experience. Today's visit, we didn't do ultrasound. It was just the Doppler. We heard the heartbeat right away. Her Doppler thing was low on battery, so it kept turning off after a few beats, and she'd have to turn it back on. And I'm like, why does she look concerned? And Bert's like, she probably just wanted to make sure she could get the right count on the beats per minute, because she goes, it's 50 beats per minute. I'm like, is that good? She's like, that's very good. So anyway, everything's on track. She's like, what questions do you have? And today I was able to ask, what hospital are we going to be delivering at? Who's going to be delivering it? And I love the answers. She's like, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the one working with you the whole journey. And we're going to be giving birth at St. Joe Hospital. It's in Chicago, which is actually, Bert sees a doctor there for something completely different, but it's a very nice building and facility. So we'll be doing all the classes and tour the place and all that stuff. And I'll be sure to give you those updates. And I'm sure, if you've been through this before, if you've given birth, or if you're a partner of someone who has, I'm excited to hear your stories too, and compare notes, and let me know what I need to do and what not to do and all that stuff too. So, thank you. Sion, thank you. Hi. Oh my God. The biggest thing, guys, lately is, how much I miss playing soccer. I have to do a little soccer bit here. So I'm the co-director, co-chair, co-something of the adult division of the Illinois Women's Soccer League, so IWSL. It's an organization that is close to my heart. I've been part of for a very long time, and I help put the registrations together and the schedule and all the things that come with running a league. And it's not a simple league like the ones I run at work, because this one is every team has a home field, and game times are different, and referees have to go all over the place, and it's a bit more work. And I can't play soccer anymore. My doctor said no more soccer because she doesn't want something happening to the baby. I can go running, but she doesn't want me being in a position where the ball will be kicked at the baby. Fair enough. I don't either. So Marcus says, you have your whole life to play soccer. Fair enough. But I miss it. It's part of me. And my co-chair, co-director, whatever I am in this role, reaches out and she goes, we should probably get registration up. Did you see my email? And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can be in this role. I don't know if I can just be on the sidelines making fun for everyone else and me not get to play. But once I started getting the registrations up and everything, I was like, okay, I'm back. This is what I do. I'm here. I'm here for it. So I am still doing that. If you are a soccer player in Illinois and you want to play, hit me up. I'll get you on a team. It is a great league, and I'll be putting together my team, Honey Badgers, so that we have another fun season. And I'll be there for every game because Sunday mornings with the Honey Badgers is like one of the biggest things I look forward to every summer. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. Just, comparing me and Bert, and I look like I'm glowing compared to how pale Bert is because he's from Minnesota. That is a good one. Elliot, a good zinger right there. I love it. Question from Marcus: did I ever get a false positive? I never did. No. But that's, I think it's very rare. Now, false positives may come sometimes if you do fertility treatments, especially like IVF. Sometimes they say not to test because there could still be a hormone in your system that will make it look like you're pregnant when you're not. So that was a big reason why I did not test when I went through IVF, and they say, just the 2-week wait to do your beta. Was it 2 weeks? I think it was the dreaded 2-week wait. So yeah, the false positives don't happen a lot, but I don't know. Double checking is a good thing. Yeah. Hi, Lala. Thanks for saying hi. I don't know if you heard the big news. We're talking how I'm pregnant and expecting in August, little girl. So yeah. What other questions did I get? If you hit me up with the questions in the comments if you've got them. And I think I'm trying to think if there was other ones that people left last week. I don't know that I can check live, but let me see if I can. And hi, Amy. Sorry I missed your comment before, but hi. Thanks for saying hi. No, I can't check live, but yeah. So I'm gonna give you then. You feel free to keep popping comments in or questions in if you've got them. Dad's saying, I figured out why you're glowing. It's the light bouncing off your forehead. Where are the bangs? Okay, what do you guys think of this look? I'm thinking about going to a more of a, I think they're called curtain bangs. So more of like a sweeping bang that'll kind of, come down here. I don't know. I was looking through a bunch of pictures from the past year and realizing, my bangs, it is tough to maintain bangs. They get separated very easily, and if I can't go a day without washing them. So I'm kind of digging this kind of separated look. Anyway, I'll take your opinions on my bangs. Sometimes you guys just change up your look a little bit. The glowing comes from the happiness. That's true. I am extra smiley when I do my live streams because it's kind of fun to chat about all this. Thanks, Amy. And yeah, all right, cool. See, growing into, maybe this is my new 40 look, Got to be prepared for that. It's only a couple months away. I'm excited about it. I just keep talking about it. Oh, I'm glad to make your day. It is fun news to wake up to. Thanks for sharing, Lala. Or thanks for saying that. Okay. Now, technically, Marcus, they are still bangs. They're just a different style of bangs because they're still there. They'll just come to here. And anyway. Got to keep my bang game fresh. That sounds really weird. All right, so a few other updates. We are still foster parents, and I don't feel like I feel like we didn't talk about fostering very much last week because we were talking about other things. So our foster life has been interesting. She does know the news about the baby. She's excited to be a big sister, not excited to have a little sister. She was hoping it would be a boy because that's what she has is all brothers. But she's getting used to it. It's okay. Nothing we can do about it to change it now or ever. So life has been becoming more interesting as parents in general for me and Bert. We continue to go through reflection on our parenting skills. Self-reflection on our parenting skills, I should say. So I don't want to go into too many details, but I'll just say that we were put to the test when we were called into the principal's office. And I will tell you the part that stuck out, which was not necessarily saying that we're bad parents, but that we're soft. And I didn't say anything all day, but I was upset about it. I even called my parents and I'm like, can you believe he called me soft? And then later in the day, I told Bert that I was still hung up on like these words. And he goes, oh my God, I am also upset that he called us that. And so maybe it influenced us to be a little harsher than we have been, but maybe it was good. I think that we the whole situation, we weren't going to be soft in the first place. It did not feel good to be called that. I don't know if that was a thing, a play that the principal does with people, with parents, but whatever. 1 point for principal if it is. Anyway, the way we approached this situation, this was a situation that needed repercussions. It needed discipline. And the way in foster parent training and the advanced training that we went to is it's important to match the consequences with the or the punishment, I guess, with what the I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for here, with the actions. Match the punishment with the actions. We knew that there was some stuff that was feeding into the situation from a more emotional side, and we were able to talk to the principal about that and kind of advocate for our daughter and why things had happened. But there were some things that were brought to our attention that were inexcusable, and so what we did as a family is sat down and made goals together. What goals do we want? And we let our daughter include goals for me and Bert too, but mostly they were about her. What are some things we'd like to see that she'd like to see? And she got to lead a lot of that too, so that we didn't have to set all the goals. Hopefully she was going to guess a bunch of the ones we had anyway. She did. She knew. She is a smart girl. She is very in tune with things. She really is. She's an incredible girl. But of course, every 13-year-old is not perfect. No human is. And what are parents for but to help, 13-year-olds and kids, grow and learn and mature. And that's what we were there for. So we made these goals. Then what we did is we set some benchmarks, right? You can't just achieve a goal overnight. There's ways to get there and take steps in smaller pieces. And then we also made a no-no list. What are the things we're going to try to avoid to do? So we made all these lists together, again, led by her ideas first, and then us saying, what do you think about these ones to add? And then if there was something that, we gave her the space to say, no, I don't like that goal, or I don't like that, thing. And then so we can prioritize and we can work on things together and we can talk about why things might be harder or easier. So this was a huge risk. Like, Bert and I had no idea how she'd respond to this. I mean, she could just boycott, right? Like I did as a teenager a lot of times. I'm like, F this, you can't tell me what to do. She responded amazing. She responded so well. I turned to her after a few days and I said, are you playing us? Are you playing us right now? What is up with this? Why are you being so good? But honestly, and she joked back, she said, yeah, I'm playing you. And then we all laughed and it was funny. It was literally funny because no, she wasn't like actually playing us with intention. But I mean, she followed the rules. She was playing the game that we created as a family. And Bert and I, we were playing the game too. We had to follow through on those standards that we set. The new boundaries that we set. So we did, and it worked, and it was crazy because then I went from feeling like the worst parent in the world to all of a sudden feeling like I could write a book about this. I won't. I feel like we got a bit lucky because our daughter is very responsive to this. It's not going to work for every child. But you do have to work with every child and meet them somewhere, right? And you have to keep trying until something works. And this worked. And I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. And we had a bit of luck on our side. And so things are going very well. It's been a week and a half since that meeting with the principal. A week and a half. And I gotta say, like, things are going great. I won't say they're perfect, but they're certainly much better than they were before that meeting with the principal. And we reflect on it as a family. We talk about it, like, hey, how are you feeling? What do you, we're ready to move, to the next benchmark. What we do is we talk. Now, Bert and I are great at talking. We've been going to therapy for years, individually, and we're adults and we have the capacity to process thoughts, feelings, emotions on a more mature level than a 13-year-old. And I gotta say, for me, it's a challenge when I'm like, can you tell us what you're thinking? Can you tell us what you're feeling? And she's silent. Bert is so patient. He is so good at this. And I couldn't do it alone. He keeps me grounded in these moments where I'm like, just want to be like, just tell me what you're feeling right now. I would never shake a child and I would never talk to her like that. But, she was quiet and shut down. And I'm like, we're asking just a simple thing. How much internet time do you want? Last week it was 1 hour a night. Where do you think it should move this week? And I didn't understand why she wasn't answering. She could ask for 5 hours and she could ask for, hey, or say just an hour, like any answer, but she shut down. And I was so frustrated. And then all of a sudden she started like crying and we're like, okay, what's going on? And she's like, well, I want to talk to my brother, but they took his phone away. Oh, you don't care about internet because if you don't have internet or if you can't talk to your brother, there's no point to have the internet or have your phone. Okay. So then we understood and she started crying and I did the thing that I always tell Bert, like, it's okay to cry. And I said, don't cry. And immediately Bert goes, it's okay to cry. And she covers her face and I look at Bert like, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. And he's like, it's okay. Like we're doing this all with the icon and like, oh my God. And we sat there together and she sat with us while she cried. And I was just like, we can do this. Like, and it's okay that she's crying. And then she stopped crying and I said, okay, look, first thing in the morning, we're going to make sure that you can talk to him. And we did. Today, that happened. We got that achieved. We have calls all scheduled and everything's good. And I came through on my word and she's excited. So we are always, every single day, even when you think things are good, going to be met with these surprises of feelings we didn't know existed. And she's not just going to come out and say, hey, I'm pissed. I haven't talked to my brother in a week. Or I'm mad that like I feel misunderstood by this one teacher at school. Like it takes a lot to get there. It takes us emailing multiple teachers to be like, what the heck is happening in class? For one teacher to suggest this and another teacher to back that up. And then we finally figure out which teacher it is actually the problem. Like it's not, given to us. And I have to say, after all of this and our diligence following up with the teachers and and the teacher even came out and talked to me when I dropped her off one morning too, and he's like, she's great in class, like don't think she's a bad student. And what we got to, and it became so obvious, was she does best when there's structure, not just like, hey, lights out at 9:30 and turn your phone over, go to bed, and hey, we leave at this time in the morning. No, she needs more than that. At this point, she needs to know she has exactly how much internet time each week or each night. She needs to know what time exactly to be home. She needs to know that we're doing all these things, in chunks. and this is what she responds to. And it took a while to get there. This is not the solution for every kid. I know, I feel like I'm like a TED Talk right now. And sorry if I'm boring the heck out of you, but I am excited, and I feel like this is part of our journey as parents to make these discoveries about how you just have to keep trying, and don't feel like a bad parent if you don't get it on the first, second, third, fourth, or 10th try. It takes time to uncover these things and then go from there. So boom, that's, boom. My parenting, for what, 5.5 months, my expertise is there. All right, let me get to your comments, and I'm going to wrap things up because I've been going on for like 35 minutes. My mom did not like when the principal called us soft. She followed up and she's like, "What'd you ever end up doing on that?" So I'm so thankful to my mom to listen to me and be there to like help me as a parent. I'm very thankful for our relationship. Yeah. We need red card energy, Lynn, and yellow card energy, Bert. Honestly, like, I feel like bad cop a lot of times and Bert's good cop, and it's doesn't always feel great, but also it's effective sometimes. And I don't know, I guess if we've got these roles and it's working, it's not like she doesn't like me. It's just that I'm the enforcer sometimes, but Bert also steps up in other ways, and we make it work. Again, go a throwback to a few weeks ago. I said, if you're a single parent, it is like impossible. Like, shout out to single parents out there for doing this on their own. It's not easy. Doing it with two, it's even harder with one. So, okay, great question. Marcus is saying he's upset with this guy called like using the word soft. I think it was effective. I don't know that it was inappropriate. The way he said it was in response to me saying, we're disciplining her at home too. Like, I wanted to let him know, like, we're not just coming to this meeting and like, not doing anything about it. He's like, I said, we're taking this very seriously. There's consequences at home. And he said, okay, good. I thought you were soft. So that was the context around it, and like, it just, I don't know, stuck the way that he said that. Yeah. And yes, this 100% discipline isn't always easy. And I don't know if it ever is. Like, tell me if it is easy for you. I would love to know how it's easy. But it's a must to really help our children become better equipped for life. And this couldn't be more true. Lala, thank you for saying this. I have to, there's a show on Apple TV called Shrinking. And they just, like, in the last episode that we watched, it was exactly this. Like, he's trying to have this relationship with his daughter that's very complicated based on, like, their mother passing away, or his wife, her mother. And basically he had been very soft because everything was so fragile and he was falling apart, and she was, like, basically didn't have her dad there because he was, had been so distant. But there came a time where he needed to step up and parent her because she did something wrong. And so he grounded her, and she's like, you can't do that. Like, you've been absent. And he's like, no, you're grounded. I'm the parent, and this is that. And he, like, it was, I don't know. To me, I think me and Bert looked at each other and go, oh, this is so relatable right now. Like, stepping up when you really need to. And it's not easy, like, to do that because you love them and you don't want to, like, take away their freedoms and stuff. But it's so important because they know from that you love them. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Discipline is hard in the short time, but without it, will get much harder in the long time. That, and in the long run too, the kids will appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, another solo parent. Yes, Lala, good job. You're awesome. You mommy guide right there. She writes the guide to being a mom. Thanks, Marcus. We are a good team. I appreciate that. Thank you guys for all the wonderful supportive comments. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. The chore list. Yeah, Bert and I, well, I'm not sure what you're saying that about, but on Sundays, well, Saturdays and Sundays around here, I like to get all excited about chore day, and making the chore list for people. I think that's what he's referencing. And it gets stuff done. Oh, well, because who wants to be given a list of things to do on the weekend? That's what he's saying. I'm the enforcer for that. So I like to, like, with such a smile on my face and excitement, like, be like, all right, everyone, here's what you get to do all weekend. Laundry and cleaning and sweeping the stairs. And I love it. It actually is kind of fun for me. So I guess there's that. Oh, that's why Bert's the good cop. Because he'll give our daughter a look like, oh God, is she really making us do this? You know, but that's it. It's true. We have our roles. So anyways, thank you for listening and hanging out. This is a longer one today, and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully you enjoyed it. Next week, we'll see what comes up. I hope you guys have a great week, and just whatever you're struggling through. I've said this throughout our whole journey, but I feel like it just continues to hold true. And like sometimes you just need somebody to tell you, like, whatever you're struggling with, just keep trying. Don't lose hope. And even when you feel like losing hope and you've given up on hope, just know that there's still a chance. All right. Have a great week. Thank you so much again for all the support, and we'll see you guys next Monday. Bye.